Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Grandpa channel. The strongest soul is not the one that never bends. It's the one that refuses to stay broken. Have you ever noticed something strange? The people who brag about being unbreakable are often the first to fall apart when life hits them. But every once in a while, you meet someone different. Someone who loses everything, gets betrayed, ignored, underestimated, and even laughed at, yet somehow comes back quieter, wiser, and even harder to shake. It almost makes you wonder, what on earth are they made of? Here's an interesting fact. Psychologists have found that resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about how the brain interprets and responds to it. In other words, two people can face the exact same storm, but one is crushed while the other walks away stronger. That difference isn't luck, it's mindset. A true Sigma male understands something most people never do. He doesn't become unbreakable because life is kind to him. He becomes unbreakable because every setback teaches him something that comfort never could. The more life tries to crack him, the more it accidentally sharpens him. And no, this doesn't mean he walks around like some emotionless robot. He still feels pain. He still gets disappointed. He still has bad days. The difference is, he refuses to let those moments write the final chapter of his story. Besides, if life handed out trophies for drama, he'd probably forget to show up for the ceremony anyway. So why is it that no one can truly break a Sigma male? What is it about the way he thinks that makes emotional attacks, betrayal, failure, and even loneliness lose their power over him? Stay with me, because the answers are far deeper and far more brutal than most people realize. Number one, he doesn't build his identity out of winning. Most people unknowingly build their entire identity on things that can disappear overnight. Their job becomes who they are. Their relationship becomes their worth. Their success becomes their confidence. So when one of those things falls apart, they don't just lose something, they lose themselves. That's why failure feels so devastating to them. It attacks the very foundation they built their life on. A true Sigma male refuses to make that mistake. He knows that success is something you experience, not something you become. Winning is satisfying, but it is never the source of his self-respect. He doesn't wake up feeling valuable because life is going well. He wakes up knowing his value isn't determined by yesterday's victory or today's setback. That mindset makes him incredibly difficult to break. Take away his title and he will build another. Destroy his reputation and he will earn a new one. Empty his bank account, and he will start again without feeling like a failure. The things around him may change, but the person inside remains steady. This is what most people never understand. The Sigma isn't fearless because he always wins. He's fearless because losing never changes who he is. When your identity comes from your character instead of your circumstances, life can knock you down, but it can never truly take you apart. Number two, he can watch himself. Falling apart without panicking. One of the rarest qualities of a true Sigma male is that he doesn't immediately panic when life starts falling apart. Most people treat every setback like the end of the world. The moment something goes wrong, fear takes over. Emotions become louder than reason, and bad decisions quickly follow. The Sigma is different. He understands that panic has never solved a single problem. It only makes the problem bigger. When he feels overwhelmed, he doesn't pretend everything is fine. He admits that he's hurting, but he refuses to let his emotions take control of his actions. Instead of reacting to the pain, he studies it. He asks himself what went wrong, what he failed to notice, and what lesson life is trying to teach him. That honest self-examination is what separates him from people who repeat the same mistakes over and over again. This doesn't mean the Sigma never has moments of doubt. He does. He has nights where nothing makes sense and days where everything feels heavy. But even during those moments, one thing never leaves him: his ability to think clearly. He knows emotions are temporary, while decisions can last a lifetime. That is why breaking a Sigma is far more difficult than people expect. While others are busy fighting their emotions, he is quietly learning from them. And by the time the storm has passed, he hasn't just survived it. He has become someone stronger, wiser, and far more prepared for whatever comes next. Number 3, he never makes one person responsible for his happiness. One of the biggest mistakes people make is handing someone else the keys to their emotional well-being. They believe one relationship, one friendship, or one person's approval will finally make them feel complete. It sounds romantic, but it's actually one of the fastest ways to lose yourself. The moment your happiness depends entirely on someone else's choices, your peace is no longer yours. A true Sigma male refuses to live that way. He can love deeply, care sincerely, and remain loyal without making another person the center of his entire world. He understands that healthy relationships should add to your life, not become your life. That difference changes everything. If someone chooses to leave, betray him, or stop believing in him, it hurts. He doesn't pretend otherwise. But he also knows that losing one person doesn't mean losing his purpose. His goals remain, his values remain, his self-respect remains. He may grieve what was lost, but he never abandons himself in the process. This mindset makes emotional manipulation incredibly difficult. Guilt loses its power. Empty threats lose their effect. People who try to control him by offering affection one day and taking it away the next quickly realize they are wasting their time. His happiness was never locked inside another person's hands. That is what makes him so hard to break. He appreciates people without becoming dependent on them. He values love without worshiping it. And because his peace comes from within, no one has the power to take it away without his permission. Number 4, he doesn't fear becoming the villain in someone else's story. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that no matter how kind, honest, or patient you are, someone will eventually see you as the bad guy. A true Sigma male understands this long before most people do. He knows that every decision has two sides, and protecting his own peace will sometimes disappoint people who benefited from his silence, his time, or his sacrifice. He no longer wastes energy trying to convince everyone that he's a good person. He has learned that people often judge you based on how your choices affect them, not on the truth. The moment you stop saying yes to everything, set healthy boundaries, or walk away from unhealthy situations, someone may call you selfish, cold, or arrogant. The Sigma accepts that price without losing sleep. What makes him difficult to break is that he refuses to trade his self-respect for a spotless reputation. He would rather be misunderstood than live a life built on pretending. He knows that constantly explaining himself is exhausting, and chasing everyone's approval is a battle that can never be won. Ironically, this makes him stronger with every challenge. While others are trapped trying to protect an image, the Sigma protects his character. Images change depending on who is looking. Character remains the same, even when nobody believes in it. That quiet confidence is something criticism can never destroy. Number 5, he has already buried several versions of himself. One of the reasons a true Sigma male is so difficult to break is because life has forced him to become a different person more than once. He doesn't cling to an old version of himself simply because it feels familiar. When a chapter of his life ends, he lets it end. He understands that growth often requires leaving behind habits, beliefs, and even dreams that no longer fit who he is becoming. Most people spend years trying to get their old life back after a setback. The Sigma does the opposite. He asks himself a harder question: who do I need to become now? That single question changes everything. Instead of living in the past, he starts building the future with whatever pieces he has left. Every disappointment teaches him something. Every failure strips away another illusion. Every betrayal sharpens his judgment. Slowly, the person he used to be disappears, replaced by someone stronger, calmer, and far more aware of how the world really works. This is why breaking him becomes nearly impossible. The version of him that could be easily manipulated, easily discouraged, or easily fooled no longer exists. Life already challenged that man, and he didn't survive by holding on to him. He survived by letting him go. A Sigma male isn't strong because he has never changed. He's strong because he has changed so many times that he no longer fears becoming someone new. While others fight to preserve the past, he quietly outgrows it, and that's a kind of strength few people ever develop. Number 6, he doesn't need closure to move forward. One of the greatest traps people fall into is believing they can't move on until they get an explanation. They wait for an apology that never comes, a conversation that never happens, or an answer that was never going to satisfy them in the first place. While they wait, life keeps moving, but they remain stuck in the same place, replaying the same questions over and over again. A true Sigma male understands that closure is not something another person gives you. It's a decision you make for yourself. He knows that some people will leave without warning. Some betrayals will never make sense. Some endings will always feel unfinished. Instead of chasing answers that may never come, he chooses something far more valuable: peace. That doesn't mean he stops caring overnight. It means he refuses to let unanswered questions control the rest of his life. He accepts that not every mystery deserves to be solved. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is walking away without having every piece of the puzzle. This is what makes him so hard to break. He doesn't waste years waiting for someone else to help him heal. He gives himself permission to let go, even when the story feels incomplete. While others are trapped looking backward, the Sigma is already building what comes next. He understands that the future doesn't wait for perfect endings, and neither does he. Number 7, his expectations die before his relationships do. One of the biggest reasons people feel completely shattered by disappointment is because they expect perfection from imperfect people. They create an image of who someone should be. And when reality finally shows up, the pain isn't just about what happened. It's about watching that illusion collapse. A true Sigma male avoids this trap from the very beginning. He believes in people, but he never forgets they are human. He knows that loyalty can change, promises can be broken, and even good people can make selfish decisions. This doesn't make him suspicious of everyone. It makes him realistic. Because he doesn't place people on impossible pedestals, he isn't shocked when they reveal their flaws. That mindset protects him from emotional devastation. When someone disappoints him, he doesn't spend months asking, "How could they do this?" Instead, he quietly accepts that character is revealed over time, not assumed at the beginning. He pays attention to actions more than words, and that keeps him grounded in reality. What truly makes him unbreakable is that he never builds his future on blind trust alone. He values honesty, loyalty, and respect, but he knows those qualities must be proven again and again. By expecting people to be human instead of perfect, he avoids the heartbreak that comes from unrealistic expectations. His peace isn't built on fantasies, so reality has far less power to destroy it. Number 8, he trains himself to function while emotionally empty. Most people wait until they feel motivated before they take action. They wait to feel confident before making a move. They wait to feel inspired before chasing a goal. But life doesn't always give you those feelings when you need them most. There are days when your energy is gone, your confidence is low, and your heart simply isn't in it. That is where a true Sigma male separates himself from the crowd. He has learned that emotions are unreliable leaders. Some days they push you forward, other days they tell you to quit. If he only moved when he felt good, his life would constantly be controlled by his mood. Instead, he trains himself to keep showing up even when his emotions are silent. This doesn't mean he ignores his feelings or pretends they don't exist. It means he refuses to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. He understands that consistency is built during the days when motivation disappears, not when it is overflowing. This quiet discipline is what makes him incredibly difficult to break. Even when life drains him emotionally, he continues putting one foot in front of the other. He still keeps his promises, he still works on his goals, he still does what needs to be done. That is a level of mental strength most people never develop. Anyone can keep going when life feels exciting. The Sigma keeps going when nothing feels exciting at all, and that is why he continues to grow while others quietly give up. Number 9, he doesn't negotiate with his own excuses. One of the biggest reasons a true Sigma male is so hard to break is because he refuses to lie to himself. While many people become experts at making excuses, he becomes an expert at taking responsibility. He knows there is a huge difference between having a reason and hiding behind one. Life may not always be fair, but he refuses to use unfairness as permission to stop growing. When he falls short of a goal, he doesn't waste weeks blaming bad luck, difficult people, or unfortunate timing. He asks himself the uncomfortable questions that most people avoid. What could I have done better? Where did I become careless? What lesson am I refusing to learn? Those questions may sting, but they also create real progress. That honesty is what keeps him moving forward. Every excuse feels good in the moment because it protects the ego, but it also traps a person in the same place. The Sigma understands that if he keeps comforting himself with excuses, he also gives away his power to improve. This is why failure rarely defeats him. Instead of treating mistakes like personal attacks, he treats them like honest feedback. He adjusts, learns, and tries again with more wisdom than before. People often think his greatest strength is confidence, but it isn't. His greatest strength is his willingness to confront his own weaknesses without running from them. That kind of self-discipline is rare, and it is one of the biggest reasons no one can truly break him. Number 10, he lets reality insult him. Most people spend their lives arguing with reality. When they fail, they search for someone to blame. When life exposes a weakness, they make excuses. When the truth is uncomfortable, they ignore it and hope it disappears. A true Sigma male takes a completely different approach. He allows reality to challenge his pride because he knows the truth, no matter how painful, is always more valuable than a comforting lie. He doesn't see criticism, failure, or rejection as personal attacks. He sees them as information. If he isn't good enough at something, he would rather know it than pretend otherwise. If someone points out a flaw that is true, he doesn't waste energy defending his ego. He takes the lesson, makes the improvement, and keeps moving. To him, protecting his future is more important than protecting his pride. This mindset gives him a powerful advantage. Every harsh lesson that makes someone else bitter makes him better. Every mistake becomes a teacher instead of a permanent label. While others spend years trying to prove they were right, the Sigma spends that same time becoming stronger. That is why he is so difficult to break. His ego doesn't stand in the way of his growth. He would rather face an uncomfortable truth today than live inside a comfortable illusion for years. In the end, reality doesn't become his enemy. It becomes the toughest coach he ever had, and the one that prepares him for everything life throws his way. Number 11, he doesn't try to protect his comfort zone from reality. Most people build their lives around comfort. They avoid difficult conversations, delay hard decisions, and stay in familiar places because they feel safe. At first, it seems like a peaceful way to live. But over time, comfort becomes a silent prison. It slowly steals confidence, weakens ambition, and convinces people they are growing when they are actually standing still. A true Sigma male sees comfort very differently. He knows that the things he avoids today often become the problems he is forced to face tomorrow. That is why he willingly steps into situations that challenge him. He learns new skills even when he feels inexperienced. He accepts difficult feedback instead of running from it. He chooses growth over convenience because he understands that real confidence is earned, not imagined. He doesn't wait for life to push him out of his comfort zone. He walks out of it on his own. That decision gives him an advantage most people never develop. Every uncomfortable experience teaches him something valuable, while every challenge expands what he believes he is capable of handling. This is one of the biggest reasons no one can truly break him. By the time life throws its toughest challenges his way, he isn't meeting discomfort for the first time. He's already been training for it. While others are overwhelmed because everything feels unfamiliar, the Sigma stays calm because he has spent years preparing himself to grow through discomfort instead of hiding from it. Number 12. He doesn't believe anyone is coming to save him. There comes a moment in life that changes a person forever. It's the moment they stop waiting. They stop waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect relationship, the perfect mentor, or the perfect timing. A true Sigma male reaches that moment, and once he does, he never looks at life the same way again. He understands a truth that many people spend years trying to avoid. No one is going to build his future for him. Friends may support him. Family may encourage him. Good people may open doors along the way. But at the end of the day, no one can live his life, fight his battles, or carry his responsibilities. That realization doesn't make him bitter. It makes him free. Instead of wasting energy hoping someone will rescue him from difficult circumstances, he becomes the person he once wished would appear. He learns the skills he needs. He makes the sacrifices others avoid. He solves problems instead of waiting for someone else to solve them. Every challenge becomes another opportunity to prove to himself that he is more capable than he thought. This is what makes him so difficult to break. His strength isn't built on promises from other people. It isn't tied to luck or perfect conditions. It comes from knowing that no matter how difficult life becomes, he can rely on the one person who has never truly left his side, himself. And once a man reaches that level of self-reliance, breaking him becomes one of the hardest things in the world. Conclusion. The truth is, a true Sigma male isn't impossible to break because he was born stronger than everyone else. He's difficult to break because life has already tested him in ways most people never see. He has faced disappointment, betrayal, failure, loneliness, and uncertainty. But instead of letting those experiences harden his heart, he allowed them to sharpen his mind. Every setback became a lesson. Every loss became a teacher. Every challenge became another brick in the foundation of the man he was becoming. Real strength has nothing to do with looking tough or pretending that nothing hurts. The strongest people are often the ones who quietly carry their burdens without allowing those burdens to define them. They don't waste their lives chasing approval, waiting for perfect conditions, or blaming the world for every obstacle. They take responsibility, adapt, and keep moving forward, even when nobody is cheering them on. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Being unbreakable isn't about avoiding life's storms. It's about becoming the kind of person who refuses to stay down after every storm has passed. When your peace comes from within, your character is stronger than your circumstances, and your purpose is greater than your problems, You become someone the world can challenge, but never truly defeat. If this video gave you a new perspective, make sure to subscribe so you never miss our upcoming videos. Leave a comment below and share the reason that spoke to you the most. If you found this valuable, give the video a like and share it with someone who could use this message today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.